Assalamu alaikum. Dear students, welcome to the APS online teaching system. My name is Shajil Ahmed Qureshi and I shall be taking your biology online class today. So without further ado, let's start with your first week's lecture, which is Introduction to Biology. So what is biology? In simple words, biology is the study of life or living organisms. If you just know the meaning of the word itself, which is biology, you will have a clear idea of the definition. The word biology itself is derived from two Greek words, bios meaning life and logos means to study. You already might have heard this suffix logy at thousands of places like sociology, physiology, psychology and so on, thus implying study of that particular domain. So similarly, biology is the study of its own domain, which is life or the living organisms. So here arises a question that why do we need to study biology? It is important to study biology so we may have a better understanding of life, its organization, interaction and other factors that may enable us to make a better ecosystem and sustainability. Okay dear students, we shall now discuss about divisions and branches of biology. As in case of every scientific or even non-scientific domain, we cannot just haphazardly start studying as whole. Rather, we must follow a systematic approach that may lead us to our specific target. Thus, every field has been divided into specialized subdomains or categories that deal with the specificity of a particular aspect. So is the case with biology. Before we move on to the divisions of biology, which are three by the way, you must have a clear idea of a division. I mean what a division really is. A division is a very broad categorization of organisms into large groups. Previously, we used to place organisms into two major groups called zoology, which included study of the animals, and the botany, which included study of the plants. However, we now have a third division as well called the microbiology that deals exclusively with the organisms not visible to the naked eye or simply the microbes. By the way, viruses are also studied under this domain as the recent spread of global pandemic might have intrigued you. So now that you have the idea of divisions, let's discuss about branches of biology. A branch is a subcategory within a division that includes study of a particular aspect of living organisms. What I mean to say is that each branch deals with a specific zone of study regarding living organisms. जैसे केमिस्ट्री में आप इनऑर्गेनिक केमिस्ट्री का अलग पोर्शन होता है या ऑर्गेनिक का अलग पोर्शन होता है, सेम इज द केस हियर विद बायोलॉजी. We have a large number of branches within biology. However, we shall be discussing a few mentioned in your textbook. So the first one is morphology, which is the study of external structure of an organism. You can see that I have emphasized the word external here as to give you a clear idea that this field includes study of external form and structure of organisms. For example, us, the humans. How do we look? How our posture is? How we walk? How is our body composed? We move on two limbs rather than four. How is our gait? Gait means the way an organism stands. As we stand upright, so we have an uprighted gait. Crocodiles crawl, so they have a crawling gait. So in short, morphology deals with the study of external form and structure. Contrary to this, we have our next domain called anatomy, which deals with the structure and form of internal organs. Now you must keep this in mind that anatomy deals only with the form and structure of organs, not their functionality. So morphology, external structure, anatomy, internal structure. The next branch is the physiology, which is the study of function of organs, not their structure. Okay, let's have a quick look back at anatomy, which dealt only with the structure, not function. Physiology, on the other hand, deals with the function, not the structure. I hope you understand the concept here. The next branch is the cell biology or cytology, which is the study of individual cells. As we know, all organisms are made up of cells and each cell is an independent entity. As you can see in the figure, this particular cell can perform all the basic activities of life like uptake of nutrition, excretion and division and so on. So the study of a single cell or the study of up to the cellular level is known as the cytology or the cellular biology. The next branch is called histology, which is the study of tissues. So student, what are the tissues? You must listen to this carefully, as I think I might ask you a question at the end regarding this. A tissue is simply a collection of identical cells that function together. A large number of tissues combine together to make an organ. So the organization goes as cell combine to form tissues, tissues combine to make organs, organs combine to make a system, systems combine to make an organism. As in case of the image, we have a human brain here. Okay? Brain cells combine to make brain tissues that forms a complete functional organ, the brain. The brain along with other organs make up the complete nervous system. I hope you got the idea. Moving along, we have the next branch called genetics. Genetics deals with the study of genes and inheritance. As you might have an idea that genes are the recipe of making an organism and they define the characteristics of an organism. So study of how these characteristics pass on from one generation to another, where genes fall into the branch of genetics. We shall discuss genetics in more detail in upcoming chapters. The next branch we shall discuss is embryology. Okay, now we were not born the way we are today. We were really small when we were born. So are the other organisms. But even before that, all the organisms had a developmental phase called embryogenesis, during which they develop from a single cell up till a stage called fetus. So the study of all the progressive developmental phases of an organism before birth is called embryology. Up comes the next branch called taxonomy, which deals with scientific naming and classification of organisms into groups and subgroups depending upon similarities and differences between them. For instance, all birds have feathers and wings and they all lay eggs. So all of the birds are kept in a separate group called aves. Next up is the paleontology. Paleontology is the branch of biology that deals with the study of fossils. So again here rises a question that what are fossils? Fossils are the remains of organisms that used to live on earth millions of years ago, as in case of dinosaurs. The bones that are left turned turned into rock with the passage of time, and this process is called fossilization. So what we find are the remains of the dinosaurs that used to live on earth millions of years ago. Anyways, let's get our dinosaur away from the slides and move on to the next branch called ecology or environmental biology. The ecology involves study of the relationship of an organism with its environment. For instance, the effect of temperature, deforestation, overpopulation and other factors upon the inhabitant animals of that particular area. A little bit related to ecology is sociobiology, which is our next branch. This branch deals with the behavioral studies of organisms, the study of the behavior of the organism that make colonies, as in case of monkeys, dolphins and others, to name a few. Up comes the next branch, the parasitology. This is an important one. This branch deals with the study of parasites and their interaction with the host. Again, another question. Now what are parasites? So the parasites could be any organism that lives off other organisms called hosts and may possibly cause harm. For instance, bacteria. Bacteria could harm us. Bacteria live inside us. They could get inside a human being as well as other organisms and could possibly harm them. The next branch is biotechnology, and it is probably one of the most emphasized fields in recent times. This branch deals with the practical implementation of living organisms like bacteria for the production of useful products. For instance, alcohol can be mass produced using bacteria that produce it as a byproduct. Next up is immunology, which is the branch of biology that studies our immune system and its interaction with pathogenic organisms. Now students, our immune system is an underlying system of various types of cells that defend our body against harmful bacteria, viruses and other pathogens. So the study of all those interactions, all the underlying mechanisms that are happening is studied in the immunology. Third last branch is entomology, which is the study of insects. Insects are among some of the most abundant class of organisms on the earth. The second last branch is known as the pharmacology, which is the study of drug production and effect of drug on our bodies. Lastly, we have the final branch called molecular biology that involves study of molecules like proteins, fats and lipids found in living systems. It may also include study of organisms at molecular level. Now we move on to the last topic of today's lecture, that is the relationship of biology with other sciences. Dear students, there is a seldom use of a standalone field in today's world. Rather, every scientific field is interlinked with one another. So is the case with biology. As you can see on the slide, we have various fields interlinked with biology, and such domains are called interdisciplinary aspects, meaning aspects that are shared between two or more fields. As in case of biochemistry, it deals with the study of various chemical processes that are taking place inside a living system. The most common example is photosynthesis, where carbon dioxide is converted to energy and oxygen. Now, what is this reaction? It's a simple chemical reaction which you might have read in chemistry in earlier classes. However, this reaction is continuously being carried out in plants as well. So biochemistry studies all such chemical activities. Similarly, we have biophysics, where laws of physics that are applicable in biological system are studied. For instance, the movement of limb is an example of lever, which you are familiar with in physics. Similarly, biomathematics, also called biometry, uses mathematical tools in biological system, as in case of population prediction or colony count. Even in genetics, rules of probability are frequently applied. Biogeography aims to study characteristics of organisms depending upon their geographical location. For instance, goats living in cold region will have thicker coat as compared to those living in warm regions. So lastly, we have bioeconomics. This bioeconomics is the branch that studies living organisms from economic point of view, as in case of dairies and poultry farms, even apiaries where bees are kept and bred, and so on and so forth. So this brings us to the end of this lecture. I hope you enjoyed listening to it as much as I did. Do look at the assignment here you go. Okay, here's the assignment you will have to attempt. You can pause the video here and note it down. Answer to these questions are all in this video and in your textbooks. And I thank you so much, and I will see you in the next lecture. Allah Hafiz.